Certified Angus beef top sirloin steak, only $8.99 per pound. Whole seedless red ripe watermelons, just $14.99 each. Heinz Easy Squeeze ketchup, only $3.29 for a 20-ounce bottle. Hunt's barbecue sauce, just $2.09 for an 18-ounce bottle. Sargento shredded cheese, only $3.99 for a 7-ounce package. Shelley Bay, Heron Bay, Modern Mart, and Price Right Warwick stores will be open both days of Cup Match from 8 a.m. to 6 p.m.
You can count on us.
Live from Bermuda Broadcasting, this is ZBM TV9 News.
Good evening, everyone. It's Tuesday, August the 1st, 2017. I'm Diane Brewer, and thank you for joining us tonight. An unexpected announcement today from the new Attorney General, Cathy Simmons, concerning the integrity of the Leahy lawsuit and the administration of justice. Addressing the media for the first time at the AB Place Media Room in Hamilton, Minister Simmons revealed she had inherited what she called very sensitive matters from her predecessor, Trevor Moniz. It comes just days after Mr. Moniz, now in opposition, publicly called on government to not drop the government-funded lawsuits against the U.S. hospital.
The nature of how these matters were being handled by the former Attorney General is unprecedented and concerning, as there are no litigation files within the Attorney General's chambers with respect to these matters. As a consequence of this highly irregular circumstance, as Attorney General, I am currently in the process of obtaining these files in order to review the lawsuits that have been brought in the name of the Attorney General against Leahy Clinic and with regard to the trustees of the Port Royal Golf Course. In particular, I have instructed counsel to obtain complete files from overseas counsel retained by the former Attorney General regarding both matters. As of today, I am awaiting these files for review. I will subsequently advise the government whether it ought to proceed with these matters with the benefit of being fully briefed. I wish to point out that prior to my appointment as Attorney General, the primary person having conduct of these matters was the former Attorney General Trevor Moniz, assisted by his political consultant Richard Ambrosio, a junior barrister.
Senator Simmons also stating when he was Attorney General, Mr. Moniz appears to have provided instructions to overseas counsel to the exclusion of other staff in the Attorney General's chambers, including the Solicitor General.
At the conclusion of an objective assessment of these matters, a decision will be made in accordance with the constitutional mandate and responsibilities of my office. The process I have undertaken will enable me to decide the way forward accordingly.
Minister Simmons stopping short of saying that the files have gone missing, but rather that during the transition of governments, there has been no litigation files retained, and she stopped short of suggesting any willful act of wrongdoing.
In the ordinary course of legal practice, you would expect that there will be a master file with respect to any matter that's undertaken by counsel in those chambers.
And at the moment, the bill to the taxpayers for the lawsuit against Leahy and against the trustees for the Port Royal Golf Course stands at $2 million. Meanwhile, former Premier Ewart Brown, whom the former government named in the Leahy action, describes as desperate Mr. Moniz's attempt to offer advice to the new government, and he calls the lawsuits ill-conceived and being part of an alleged personal feud, end quote. In other news, the total number of jobs held in Bermuda in 2016 stood at 33,481. That's up 162 jobs from the 33,319 jobs in 2015, as already been reported that the number of Bermudian held jobs were down by 82, while the number of positions held by non-Bermudians, who are neither PRC holders nor spouses of Bermudians, increased by more than 3 times that figure, some 269 positions. What do the numbers in terms of age, race, gender, and other such categories say? Gary Moreno brings us up to date.
From a gender perspective, the survey shows males held the largest number of jobs with 17,000. There were 600 fewer females employed at 16,400, although they were better paid. The median gross annual income for them was $65,996, as compared with $61,300 for their male counterparts. Looking at race, blacks held 17,700 jobs, whites 10,855. However, while the median gross annual income for blacks was $57,600, it was significantly higher for whites at $88,437. And as it relates to Bermudians, that figure was $59,518, as opposed to $76,500 for non-Bermudian spouses and $82,500 for the category listed as other non-Bermudians. The highest wage earners was the 40 to 54-year-old age group with a median gross annual income of $71,800. They also held the largest number of jobs with 12,500 positions. 25 to 39-year-olds were the second highest earners with a median annual gross income of $63,800. They were also the second highest in terms of positions held with 10,200. International business has surpassed government to become the largest employer, providing 3,800 jobs, but that's down 68 positions from the 3,900 recorded in 2015. Government was a close second with 3,700 employees in 2016, reflecting a decline of 169 positions from a year earlier. Looking at employment figures for Bermudians holding the same positions as their non-Bermudian counterparts, well, get this. There were 208 Bermudians employed as underwriters in 2016, earning a median gross annual income of just under $150,000. The number of non-Bermudians doing the same job was 135, but their median gross annual income stood just shy of $276,000. And while the median gross annual income for a Bermudian waiter or waitress, of whom there were 219 last year, was $31,300, their non-Bermudian colleagues, who numbered 365, had a median gross annual income of $42,000. Vita Fogo, the newly appointed Minister of Cabinet Office with responsibility for government reform, citing as cause for concern the findings that the number of Bermudian-held jobs had declined, while those held by individuals who were neither permanent resident certificate holders nor spouses of Bermudians had increased. The PLP, which now forms the government, stated in its election platform that it intends to increase job training for Bermudians to fill jobs held by guest workers, an initiative it aims to begin implementing within its first 100 days in office. Gary Moreno, reporting for the Bermuda Broadcasting News.
And we have some good news for you as the Cub Match holiday rapidly approaches. Tropical System Emily has been downgraded to a mere tropical depression churning in the Atlantic. Bermuda Weather Service Director Kimberly Zuhl said Emily will not really impact Bermuda and that it will be located hundreds of miles away from the island on Thursday, when it's expected to make its closest point of approach. Thursday is expected to see cloudy periods, occasional showers, and some possible thunder. But of course, we'll keep an eye on it for you and keep you updated. Well, stay with us. We'll have more news and tonight's AccuWeather forecast after the break.
Price Rate is your one-stop shop with something for everyone. Household goods for kitchen, bedroom, and bathroom. Aisles of bulk groceries at value prices. A complete selection of fresh meat and produce. And an extensive range of frozen items to cover every meal. Wines from around the world and beer and liquor at discount prices. Visit Price Rite at our 2 locations in Pembroke and Warren. There's always something new and always something for everyone.
My biggest fear in this world was losing an arm, a leg, my eyesight. I was taking insulin injections. I was also taking lisinopril and a series of other medications.
There are many medications that patients are on that are very helpful. If you're able to lower the blood sugar through lifestyle, decrease in sugar intake, increase activity, you don't need those medications anymore.
Whereas before, we thought if you have type 2 diabetes, you've got it for the rest of your life. We now understand that it can be reversed.
People are saying, oh, gosh, Miss Wade, you look like you lost weight. What are you doing? And you just tell them you're doing the diabetes reversal program. Dr. James looked at me and he said, Sister Wade, look at you. And I said, Doc, I got my sexy back. I said, Doc, you know what? I can truly say that you saved my life.
I invite you to take the first step on the journey of the Diabetes Reversal Program here at the Premier Health and Wellness Center.
Welcome back. Well, that 100-day agenda put forward by the Progressive Labor Party in its election platform will not go unfulfilled. That assurance coming from Premier David Burt, who sat down with Gary Moreno to discuss some of the aspects of the ambitious plan.
With no fewer than 21 items listed on that 100-day to-do list, it could be asked, why would a new government want to put itself under that kind of pressure? Mr. Burt's response, what pressure?
There's nothing on that 100-day list that cannot be done. and we're going to commence on those matters. A lot of them are already in train, and you'll be hearing from a number of our ministers in regards to the items of which they are certainly doing on that list to make sure that when the 100 days is complete, we can report to the country of what we've been able to do and what we've been able to accomplish.
These initiatives range from the installation of Wi-Fi in all public schools to the establishment of a bipartisan committee on immigration reform as well as a tax reform commission. Mr. Bate explaining that work has in fact begun on several of those 21 items.
The first item I think on there is Bermuda First. That is already in train so far as getting together. The item on gang violence reduction coordinator, that item's in train. The items so far as the increase in training that we're going to be offering. I met with the Minister of Education and Workforce Development today. The issue with Bermuda College, making sure that Bermuda College is going to be accessible for persons despite their financial standing. Those items are well in train. And as I said, you will hear from our ministers in the coming weeks before in the run-up to the throne speech of those particular issues, because we're going to make sure to keep the people updated on our progress.
Implementation of this multifaceted plan will obviously entail additional cost. So where is this funding going to come from? Mr. Baird telling us there need not be any concern about that.
They're going to be funded where we're going to examine the entire budget, which we've been doing in the Ministry of Finance. As you understand, I serve as Minister of Finance, and I spend time in the Ministry of Finance. But I think what's important is that you have to remember that we are basically reprioritizing items. And so from that perspective, we look at where money is being spent, where money may not need to be spent, and then we have to actually look at what's a priority. And so when we talk about the very particular issue, when we talk about the topical issue of gang violence, what we have a country have to consider as to whether or not it makes sense to say that we are not going to invest this money to deal with this very pressing problem, or are we going to invest the money which is necessary? And a government has to set priorities.
And this, he assures, will be done in accordance with arriving at a balanced budget by 2019. The ultimate aim of this 100-day plan, he adds, is to ensure additional opportunities for Bermudians, something which he opines will aid in alleviating many of the social issues now facing these islands. Gary Moreno, reporting for the Bermuda Broadcasting News.
Government will be taking immediate and urgent the now established gang and gun culture, which have claimed the lives of more than 30 young black men since the year 2009. Premier David Byrd calling this a top priority of the new administration, with work geared towards arresting this scourge already begun, as it's high up on his 100 list of initiatives.
Well, as you would see in our first 100 days, it is the second item that is on our 100-day agenda. The Minister of National Security will certainly be speaking to that in the coming days. I think he made a statement yesterday. I know that he met with the Commissioner of Police today, and then you'll be hearing from him. But I think it's an incredibly important issue. It's important for a number of reasons. It's important not only because of the impact that it has on our society, but it's also because that we're seeing, I've had to grieve mothers who will be soon burying their sons or burying their sons. It's the first meeting I had here at the Cabinet Office was for the mother of Mr. Jakari Francis and his family that were here. I mean, these are members of our community that are suffering the trauma that results from these events, whether it's events of violence and murder which happen in the sight of children, in the sight of mature people, leave trauma on our society. And we have to address this issue, not just from enforcement, but from a holistic issue. The Minister of National Security is clear of the direction in which I wish to take. The reason why I asked Wayne to run for the Progressive Labor Party is because I understand his initiative in this issue, and it was always understood, as you can remember from our candidate announcement, that it was my intention to have him as a Minister of National Security should he have been successful. He has a passion for this issue, and I'm confident that him, with his team and the Bermuda Police Service, in addition with the social services that we're going to put into place, will begin to arrest this problem. But we didn't get here overnight, Gary, and we're not going to reverse the trend overnight. But this government will put a priority on recognizing not only what's taking place, but also dealing with the root causes that affect us.
Aware that the problem could prove an expensive fix, Premier Burt maintains it will be an investment in the country's future. Meantime, if you're going out on the water this Cup Match holiday or plan to spend a day at St. George's Cricket Club, expect a police officer to be nearby. The Bermuda Police Service today revealed its comprehensive policing plan for the Cup Match period. Superintendent Darren Simons said 70 officers plus reserve police and soldiers from the Royal Bermuda Regiment will be joining forces to patrol the island starting tomorrow.
The police will be conducting high visibility patrols and community engagement throughout this period in an effort to increase community safety and reduce problems associated with antisocial behavior. We recognize there is a small but determined group of individuals who sadly are intent on disrupting the peace and tranquility of our island. The policing aim is to reduce opportunities for these types of disturbances to occur. We need the public's help. We need the public to be vigilant. If you see something, say something. If you see anybody who's acting in a dangerous or suspicious manner, please call us and let us know what's going on. And be ever mindful of your personal safety. Always be aware of the distribution and consumption of alcohol, as historically, alcohol has been a major contributing factor in many of the disturbances we've seen. Persons who are hosting events, whether large or small, are responsible for how those events are managed. Please take into consideration the age, psychological, and physical state of individuals who are consuming alcohol. And most importantly, always be aware of your environment.
Meanwhile, police assuring the public that they have adequate numbers to safely monitor large-scale events.
We will provide a high visibility presence at various public events during the holiday period in support of the organizers to deliver a safe and, as far as practicable, trouble-free event. On Thursday, August the 3rd, there will be a visible police presence at Horseshoe Bay Beach and at Mangrove Bay during the non-Mariners race on Sunday, August the 6th. And of course, there's going to be a large contingent at Cup Match. This is with the aim of reducing opportunities and minimizing the risk of antisocial behavior occurring. Also to provide an appropriate police response to any unlawful incidents and to reassure the public, the local community, as well as those attending the events.
In other news, environmental officials tonight updating the public on their efforts to study the damage done by that Rubis fuel spill in March. Rubis stated that more than 19,000 gallons of fuel had spilled into the environment at Ferry Reach, although the Royal Gazette reported more than 22,000 gallons had escaped. The Department of Environment and Natural Resources tonight says their monitoring continues to indicate that a liquid plume is floating on the groundwater some 70 feet below grade level at the site, and that there remains a vapor plume of gasoline fumes above the water table within the limestone. Executives at Rubis so far declined repeated invitations by this newsroom for an on-camera interview to shed light on the situation. And turning to weather news, of course, we are keeping a close eye on Emily, but for our Wednesday, periods of sun and cloud and a few showers later in the day. Here's the latest from AccuWeather.
AccuWeather is presented by BF&M Insurance Group. We now go to AccuWeather headquarters.
This forecast is brought to you by the BF&M Insurance Group, and we have quite a few things going on right now. Here we are in Bermuda. Well, we do have a stalled front around us, which is bringing us an uptick in showers, also some cloud coverage. But we also have this tropical depression, Emily, that's heading in our direction, and that's going to give us some more wet weather. We could even see some downpours at times. For tonight, though, we're just going to see some scattered showers across the region that will continue into tomorrow, which is going to be the wettest day of the week. So here we are for tonight, 83 degrees across the island. Humidity is up. It is at 84% for tonight. Yesterday, it was just in the 70s, so it's certainly more humid. Winds out of the west-southwest, 10 to 20 knots. The water temperature is still warm at 85. Waves inside the reef, 1 to 2, and outside 3 to 4 feet. Now, as I said, tomorrow is going to be the wettest of the day. For tonight, though, we're going to have a couple of showers continue to pass through. It's going to become a bit breezy as well. Our low temperature is 79 degrees. Tomorrow, Emily, the tropical depression, and also this front are going to kind of combine. And so here we're going to see some multiple downpours across the region, can be heavy at time, and we could even see some thunder and lightning coming out of this. Again, we'll also still have a couple peaks of sunshine peeking throughout the day. 85 degrees for the high temperature. Now here is our tide time. The first one, 4:58 p.m. tonight, so that already happened. The second one at 5:03 in the morning, overnight tonight into tomorrow. Taking a look at our gateway forecast, if you're heading home or just traveling somewhere else, Toronto, some showers, 85 degrees. New York, a thunderstorm passing through, temperature at 88 degrees. Boston is beautiful tonight, nice and dry, low humidity, perfect conditions to be outside, 83 degrees. And in Atlanta, if you're traveling there to Jackson Hartsfield, well, it's going to be pretty nice. We don't expect any delays there due to weather. Miami, though, we are seeing some showers, maybe some thunder and lightning. And then in London, expect some showers. In the Caribbean, it is unsettled. We're seeing all sorts of tropical waves, and of course, Emily passed through. So in Jamaica, we're expecting some thunderstorms. Barbados, Trinidad, really unsettled conditions. And the tropical development is that storm Emily, which is downgrading. So she is kind of breaking up here as she's passing through. So Wednesday and Thursday, that's where we're going to see the showers, an uptick. We could see some brief downpours, even some thunder and lightning. But then Friday through Sunday, we are drying out, and we're back to a more typical pattern, a mix of clouds and sunshine, and our temperatures hold strong right in the mid-80s all week long. Stay tuned to Ocean 89, Power 95, and Inspire 105 for all the latest on your news and weather.
AccuWeather was presented by BF&M Insurance Group.
Imagine a kind of comfort that's unique to you. Serta did. The Serta iComfort Hybrid Sleep System. The first hybrid mattress that combines advanced coils with our triple action gel memory foam. For comfort that cradles, supports, and cools you. It's comfort reimagined. The iComfort Hybrid Sleep System.
Exclusively available at Big Savings Zone, Southside, St. David's.
Getting more rain. I'll be at Legoland. More fun stuff. The World Cup.
They should have more scholarship. They could help those who are struggling through life.
A van that will go around, driving around, feeding homeless people. When people are bleeding, you must help them. For people to just listen sometimes.
Turning to sports, Premier David Byrd hosts Cup Match Club's reception. Naki Wells may need surgery, and Bermuda win opening hockey match at the National Sports Center. Earl Basden has tonight's sports report.
The final touches are being put on the St. George's Cricket Club and their grounds in preparation for the 115th annual Cup Match Classic right here at the Wellington Oval. Last evening, the Premier hosted an event.
Since, I want to say 2010, I've had the opportunity to attend this event annually. And it is an honor for me to be able to host this event on behalf of the Progressive Labor Party government. The holiday that we celebrate has its roots in emancipation. We must remember that this is a celebration of emancipation. And for that, it, without question, has very, very special meaning. So the weekend is a great one. The camaraderie that is shared is a great one. But we also get to recognize a number of young men who are excelling and serving as role models for our community, and two clubs that work very hard on an annual basis to make sure that we can keep this tradition alive.
President of the St. George's Cricket Club, Neil Painter, welcomes all to the East End.
I just want to say to everyone that we do appreciate the time that everyone takes to come out and come to this function and show their support for either Somerset or St. George. But I would like to say that from St. George's Cricket Club, we do welcome you down to Wellington Oval. Things are going very well. My management team, along with members and people of the community, have done a fantastic job of ensuring that our facility is top-notch. And if Emily, she did do something in 1987. That was September 1987. This same year St. George's won in Somerset. So if Emily is trying to make another trip, then maybe it's a victory trip for St. George's.
And Somerset Cricket Club President Alfred Mabry had this message to all fans.
Somerset is ready. We're ready to come, to conquer, and go back home with the house. So all I can say is come. If you're a Somerset fan, you will enjoy. If you're a St. George's fan, there will be plenty there for you to drink your sorrows away.
Huddersfield striker Nicky Wells may need minor surgery to overcome the ankle injury which prevented him from traveling to town training camp in Austria. Head coach David Wagner, preparing his team for a friendly match against VfB Stuttgart, revealed the 27-year-old Bermudian will see a specialist later this week. Meanwhile, Norwich City's under-23s fell to a 3-2 defeat at Judah Chapman and his Sutton United teammates. Dowry Rollins is in the Oxfordshire Cricket Club Championship 11 team playing in the Unicorns Championship Western Division against Berkshire. Oxfordshire won the toss and decided to bat. They were bowled out for 207 after 80.3 overs, with Rollins the top scorer on 60 off of 77 balls. Rollins hit 10 fours and a 6 in his 100-minute stay at the crease. In reply, Berkshire scored 391 for 9 declared after 90 overs. Rollins finished with figures of 11 overs, 2 for 66. At the close of play on day 2, Oxfordshire were 55 for 2, with Rollins out for 15 from 15 deliveries, hitting 3 fours in his 19-minute stay at the crease. Meanwhile, we continue bringing you the weekend top performers in Cup Match trials, Colts Cup Match, and First Division play. Alex Dorr was the weekend's top batsman playing for Somerset Cricket Club in Colts Cup Match with a knock of 102 not out. Dean Simons scored 64 not out for St. George's Cricket Club against Somerset Cricket Club in Colts Cup Match to be the second top scorer of the weekend, and Anzari Painter scored 62 runs in the St. George's Cricket Club Cup Match trial. The figures of 7.2 overs, no maidens, 4 for 37. Carl Hutzel, playing in the St. George's Cricket Club Cup Match trial, led the bowling department. Reginald Baker returned figures of 5.3 overs, 4 maidens, 3 for 3, helping Flats to defeat PHC. George O'Brien, playing for the St. George's Cricket Club Cup Match trial, had the third best figures of the weekend, bowling 8 overs, 3 maidens, 3 for 12. Bermuda is hosting 2 huge kickoff rugby games on August 10th as the European champions Saracen take on USA Islanders, and an all-star team from the New Liberty Collegiate Conference play the Republic of Texas All-Stars as the curtain raiser of the Atlantic Cup. The Liberty All-Stars and the Republic of Texas All-Stars will kick off at 5:30 p.m. at the National Sports Center, with Saracens and USA Islanders kicking off at 7:30. At the National Sports Center last evening, Bermuda began hosting a 4-team hockey tournament. Sound Shore Tigers defeated the Staples, both visitors, with a penalty stroke in the 42nd minute, 1-0, scored by Elizabeth Brissett. The Bermuda women's national team then defeated Mount St. Abraham's 5-0, with 2 goals from Maha Clark and single strikes from Renee Greenslade, Tiana Booth, and Jane Chisnow.
I'm Earl Baisden with Bermuda Broadcasting Sports.
Great for picnicking, Fresh Express Coleslaw, just $2.99 for a 14-ounce package. Purdue Fresh Value Pack chicken thighs or drumsticks, only $1.89 per pound. Great for salads, Kraft salad dressings, just $4.29 for a 16-ounce bottle. Barbecue with Kingsford Matchlight Charcoal, only $15.69 for a 6.2-pound bag. Tropicana Premium Orange Juice, just $5.49 for a 59-ounce bottle. Have a safe and happy Cup Match holiday from the Marketplace.
The year was 2015 when cup holders Somerset Cricket Club ended the 34-year drought of not winning at Wellington Oval. Will they recapture the glory in 2017? Or will challengers St. George's end their 6-year winless streak? Tune in to the 115th edition of the annual Cup Match Classic at the St. George Cricket Club grounds. As the island's leading commentary team of Alan Richardson, Dwayne Sluggo Levrock, and Wendell Smith will provide in-depth analysis on the Cup Match Classic and how much the game has changed. Thursday, August 3rd and Friday, August 4th on Power 95 FM. Cup Match 2017 is presented by lead sponsor HSBC, Lindo's Group of Companies, Colonial Insurance Limited, Surface Trends Limited, Prestige Cocktails Limited, and Moongate Group.
A German airliner made an unexpected stop in Bermuda overnight, caused by an unruly passenger who this morning was fined $1,000 in magistrate's court. The Lufthansa flight had left Panama City en route to Frankfurt, Germany. The passenger, a 28-year-old Frenchman who was taken to the Hamilton police station. And that's our newscast for tonight. Just another reminder that we stream our evening news live on YouTube and on Facebook, so you can watch us anywhere on the island or even when you're traveling. Find us under Bermuda Broadcasting. You can also post a comment or ask us a question. I'm Diane Brewer. Thank you for joining us. Have a fantastic evening, everyone. Good night.